Those of you joining us on the GBN Television Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN channel 711 or 20, and the listeners of Classic 105 Hot 98, welcome to another edition of To The Point on all these platforms. So happy to have each and every one of you this morning. This morning we're opening the phone lines, getting your thoughts and your questions, queries, concerns on various topics. But this morning I wanted to specifically focus on a discussion that started in Good Morning Grenada. That is in relation to the wearing of masks in public spaces. It started with the argument that the regulations do not specifically say wear mask in public spaces, like if you're exercising on the roads. It just says wearing your mask. I'll read it shortly. It just says wearing of your masks to get in buildings and in motor vehicles. But what are your thoughts? This has started a discussion as well on the WhatsApp about the dangers, I would say, of wearing masks as well, whether it's in public or in vehicles or so on. What are your thoughts? 435-2041. That's the landline number. It is also the WhatsApp number. You can message us on the WhatsApp, only written messages, no voice or video calls on the WhatsApp, no pictures, no videos, no voice notes, only written messages on the WhatsApp, 435-2041. You can also chime in on the GBN Television Facebook page or the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. We have our very first phone call of the program. Good morning.
Good morning, my darling.
Good morning, Miss Jacob. How you do?
Bye. Well, Jonathan had it right on top.
Well, I'm glad.
Powerful, man. Powerful. In the Lord, girl, powerful this morning.
Amen. So what are your thoughts on the wearing of masks?
Well, to wearing of the mask. I went in town yesterday. And I went in the bank. And, well, some of those senior citizens, they had the mask. But he had a few senior citizens. Well, don't talk about the young line. The one with the young people. They don't have no mask. They tell you where your mask is for your health. Without health, you have to have health first. That's why I tell you, I wear my mask. If my grandmother, they say, Oma, our TVs are in time to come, you go out of your mask, I would have tell her she story. And look at it. What is happening now? Though before, it didn't so bad. But now, it's terrible. And it's going to get worse. It won't get good. It won't get good. It won't get good. Because the Bible tells you, in time, days to come, you will see signs. And there's a lot of signs. And wonders. People wondering what's going on. Kingdom, nation, everything against nation, children. And what will happen now in children? Well, people would be fighting against one another, killing one another. How kind of thing is that? Is that already know?
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Jacob. Have a good day.
And what about Mommy?
She's okay.
Give me a nice shake head. Give me when you go home and tell her, Ms. Jacob, give her a bow.
I shall do that. Have a good day. All right.
You baby, bye-bye.
Your thoughts on the wearing of masks. Let me read the regulations. The regulation number 7, the Emergency Powers Regulation number 7. These regulations shall come into force on the 11th day of May. And Section 2 says, I'm looking for it. Hold on. There we go. Freedom of movement shall be exercised from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. in accordance with these regulations. Every person shall wear a mask or suitable covering over his nose and mouth whenever A, he is on, enters, attempts to enter, or is in a line to enter the premises of a business establishment or government office, and B, he is in a motor vehicle with any other person. These regulations shall not apply in the case of medical emergency. There are some arguing that it contradicts the laws, as well as others saying wear the mask in public spaces even if you are not going into a building, if you're exercising. What are your thoughts on the regulations? On WhatsApp this morning, somebody says, the mask is not good. I have a friend and it damaged her face. It's swell up her face. Another says, read up on the masks, listen to doctors about the mask. That's why earlier the police dropped the big thing about mask because it is unhealthy. What are your thoughts? Healthy or not healthy? Yes or no? Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom. How are you?
I'm good.
Blossom, it's something that bothers me a bit. Not primarily about the wearing of the mask or social distancing. What bothers me is after we have been bombarded locally, regionally, internationally on the challenge of COVID-19 and how important it is to stay safe, I think it would be critical that we adopt any action that would keep us safe to prevent this spread of COVID-19 and to mitigate whatever presence it have in our vicinity. I think that is a key issue here, and not whether you wear your mask or you cover your face or you sneeze or you didn't sneeze, whatever. The question is, what it is do I have to do to be safe, understanding the challenge of that event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Your thoughts on wearing of masks, healthy or unhealthy? Yes or no? Is it paramount? Is it important to wear it in public spaces, even if the regulations do not specify? Share with us this morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
I think we should wear a mask because we don't know who have it or not.
Thank you very much. Agreed, caller. Thank you very much. Agreed. Let me check the WhatsApp, check the social media. What about the people with breathing problems and short breath? And where is your mask? As in my mask, I can't. It's me alone inside here. I sprayed the building with spirits this morning, and I haven't left since what time I got inside here? About 1:45. I haven't left this little box, and nobody has come in either. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. G.
Blossom, I don't have a problem with this mask because you hear all kind of things. You hear some scientist or some medical person in other places saying the mask is not safe. The mask cannot prevent you from contracting the virus. You hear others saying, so you're not sure what is the motive. You're not sure what is the motive by who is saying what. So whatever you feel comfortable, if the government and the law say to wear your mask in public, wear your mask in public. When you come out to the public, you take out your mask. I don't have a problem with that. But what I want to address is the fear. The fear. Blossom, this COVID-19 is not just about a virus or a disease. There is a spirit that has invaded the earth behind this COVID. The COVID is just the mask, what comes before, but behind that COVID, there is a spirit of fear. And that was planned. It is a planned thing that has been there since 2000 and beyond. And from then to now, it's been planned, and this was the launch time. Now, I want to let people know that regardless of what, the Bible tells us things that will happen in these last days. But we don't pay heed. So when it happens, we cannot look to the Bible because we don't know what it says. But to deal with the fear, God says he has not given us the spirit of fear. So in other words, fear is not an emotion, it's a spirit. In Isaiah 41:10, I just want to share about 3 or 4 of those verses that talks about fear. It says, fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid and do not be dismayed, For the Lord your God is with you whithersoever you go. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. The psalmist says, I sought the Lord. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment, with torment. And whoever fears has not been perfected in love. And finally, the psalmist David in Psalm 27:1, he said, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? So there is, people live and they live as though God doesn't exist. So when things like this happen, they have nothing to turn to but the emptiness inside of them. And that's why some people commit suicide, some people get depression, some people just, things happen to them and they just get more sick. But when you have God, I always say people are 2/3 God, 1/3 flesh. You have a body, which is the flesh, then you have a soul, you have a spirit. But we deal everything with the flesh and we ignore the spiritual side of man. But once we do that, the world will always be in chaos because we're ignoring the real man and we're not dealing with him. So the Word of God has enough to give us. So when we turn to God, we have something to stand with. We have something to hold on to. We don't have to be afraid. Even though there is something that we have, like this COVID-19. If you pray and you believe God, you trust God, you cover yourself with the blood of Jesus. And no matter where you go, you do what the law says you should do. But you don't have that fear that you're going to come down with COVID-19. Because in these days, if you sneeze, it's COVID. You cough, it's COVID. Whatever you do is COVID, as though that never existed before. You never cough, you never sneeze before. So once you sneeze now, it's COVID-19. But people need to know that there is God. And it's never too late. No matter what you did in life, God never rejects. He comes to save sinners. And people sin because they are sinners. So I would encourage us, turn to God and get rid of that fear.
Thank you, Ms. Jeremiah. Thank you very much. Your thoughts on the masks? Somebody on WhatsApp says, I feel like I am suffocating in the mask. Somebody else says it should not be up to the public to decide. There will be too many varying views. I think clarification should be sought from the Attorney General and COVID Committee. Point. What are your thoughts on the wearing of masks? It's open line here on To The Point. Good morning.
Good morning, my wonderful blossom. How is everything?
I'm good. How are you?
Mentally, spiritually okay?
I believe I am.
Living the best way the whole world, Grenada.
Thank you, you too.
Best country in the whole wide world. Cause what it will be nice here.
Nice.
I listened to some big from the World Health Organization last night on BBC News. See that this guy was stable for a long time and then go now. You see, we just had AIDS. See, look at whatever we no cure whatever in a hurry. They will be with for a long time. They are AIDS for a long time and they're surviving. Just so they say that will be in a while. And they're asking all the world money men, them billionaires, them who are criminal money from the poor and rebuild the poor and be billionaires. They're going to donate some money back to the virus right now for climate change. Put us some of the money. America have over 700 billionaires. They come out last night on BBC and they asked them to put Bill Gates put out that money and thing whatever. People put over there asking them to put out some money. Can they have it? You have billionaires in India. In China have some money men again. You have money men all over the world. You see the problem with life, eh? Government have money in their position right now which to invest and they don't want them invest it. Right. So when this is like blood money, you call that, eh? When the government sees the money from the people, they doesn't burn them, They spend it. But if America and England make laws that they can last of that money in a bank and they can invest, I think where we get money from and business. When they rob money from people, they don't burn it. And they don't dump it, but they spend it. So why they allow people to invest in money where they have their jog money? Let them invest it somewhere in something worthwhile. If you take right now, taking care in Mexico in a village, the government says they shouldn't be doing that. But them contributing to the people in the village and taking care of them for the virus and before that feeding them all the time, they don't want them to do that. Let the government do that. But the government don't doing that. So if people jog money, they are jog money and hide up in bail and in containers. Let them spend the money, let them invest the money. It'll be nice to build swimming pool and nothing but the thing, but I'm going to spend and they can't spend it, they can't lodge nothing, they can't do nothing. They got money, no. But all the money in the government hand, tie up in bills, so money running short in the wall, I tell you. Money printing money, they can't know where you gone. They know where you gone. But the government have all the money in bills, tie up in containers, in cheese, underground, because they can't spend it. That's why they want to bring the mark of the biscuit and one world government in a while to come. So all the money we have in a while will be no use to us now. When the mark of the biscuit money will be no use to man.
Okay.
So have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Your thoughts on the use of masks in public spaces? Somebody on Facebook says, I think it all boils down to being responsible citizens, knowing it's not only about us. I personally that's WhatsApp. I personally don't like the mask, so I avoid going out, but I know that it is safe, so we can still use it. I think the wearing of masks should be a must because I have a serious health condition and the mask is hard to breathe in. Every time I wear it, I get shortness of breath and slight chest pain. Masks may be problematic for some people. Some are allergic to some types of materials. Then we eat, breathe out, and in the same air. There are solutions though. Then we are breathing in. Then we are breathing out and in the same air. There are solutions though. 1, avoid crowds and public spaces. No mask required. 2, if you must go out, go with your mask as required. Go with a purpose and return home quickly and remove your mask. 3, find a material you can tolerate and ensure it fits properly. Many of the locally made masks are perfect. Remember, the masks are to prevent COVID-19. And 4, follow the law on when to wear a mask, but remember the emergency law did not say you can't wear one when walking the streets. Back to the phone line. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I feel very secure, especially in the company of people when I'm wearing my mask. And even after COVID, sometimes you have a bad flu outside and people come sneezing. I think I'll continue to wear the mask in these situations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gola. WhatsApp, does this mean that the virus is airborne? Earlier the talk was it is not so, but now they are saying it is different. They have been preaching that it's possibly airborne for some time now, actually. In the earlies, they say it was not so, but the scientists have determined that the particles stay circulating in the air for some time. According to Grenada's acting chief medical officer, Dr. Francis Martin, however, what they were trying to determine was if the amount of particles still left in the air is enough to cause an infection. He says there needs to be a certain amount of pathogens that enter the body for you to be infected or deemed infected. And that's what they were trying to determine, if what is left can cause an infection. I haven't heard an update since then. Let's go back to the phone line. Your thoughts on the masks? Yes, no, healthy or unhealthy? Good morning.
Good morning, sister. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Nice.
I think wearing a mask is very important, especially when you're going out in public, but I think it's not healthy. What I do when I'm going out, I wear the mask, but when I get a chance I could avoid contact with anybody or closeness to anybody, I remove it and take a few deep breaths because we need the oxygen for the circulation of our, health and blood and everything. We need oxygen, so we need to take time out sometimes and take a few deep breaths and put it back on when we're in public. But the best thing for you to do to stay healthy, stay home. All the best.
Thank you very much. I like that. To stay healthy, stay home. No masks, no COVID-19 home. To stay healthy, stay home. I like it. WhatsApp, I live on Upper Lucas Street, and usually when I go to do my shopping, I have to walk from town to where I live with the mask in my face. By the time I walk up Market Hill, it's as if I am going to suffocate. The mask is good, but I think only in buildings and in vehicles. Let me see. Nothing on YouTube. Let me go back to Facebook. Others can be victims of our negligence. We might be the very one that is carrying the virus. You never know. Yes, the mask can be very uncomfortable. I think we should all wear it in public spaces, banks, stores, shopping. However, a school of thought suggests that the constant use will decrease our immunity, making us susceptible to illness. We need our local scientists to do research on it, then direct us. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I agree with Jeremiah about the whole matter of fear. But there's some people who are naturally paranoid and alarmist about everything. However, I would say that the opposite of fear, let's put it that way. You don't have to move from one extreme to the next. You don't have to move from being fearful to being foolhardy. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of it, it's common sense. And we have to deal with the facts. First of all, the mask doesn't protect you from other people in any significant way. It protects others from you. So wearing a mask is being responsible and being mindful of others. Because if you sneeze or if you cough, your body fluids will stay with you and it won't go to others. So if people think by wearing a mask they're protecting themselves in a place where other people are not wearing masks, it is not correct. There may be some chance of getting some protection, but generally speaking, the main purpose of the mask is to prevent you, if you are infected, from infecting others. So if you are walking somewhere, there is nobody else with you, you don't need to put that mask on your face. Once you get into close proximity to other people, perchance you may cough or sneeze, then the mask becomes helpful. But just wearing a mask, some people are in the car, the AC is on, and they close up with a mask. I see them all around the place. I wouldn't do that. We have to have common sense, and we have to be practical. When I walk in this, sometime in the morning, I may have my mask around here in case somebody gets close to me. But I'm walking a lonely road. I'm in public, but I'm not wearing a mask. There's no chance of me infecting another person by coughing or sneezing. So let's not take it from one extreme to the next and understand the wisdom behind the mask. And I just wear it for the sake of wearing. My major concern, though, moving from the mask slightly, is the failure of the authorities to put in place the necessary protocol for safe public transportation. Blossom, you can recall, weeks before the lockdown, I said we need protocols for public transport. It's necessary for people to go to work, for people to go to shop, to do whatever they need to do. We had a lockdown which lasts almost more than a month. It's over, and we still haven't put in place those protocols. Simple protocols will enable us to still have limited public transport in a safer way. And I'm very disappointed that up to today, how many days after they have opened up more or less, and we still have no public transport. It is unfair to those who have no personal transport. It's very, to me, it's brutal to the older folks. And we have to be more responsible than that. Something has to be done whereby we can have safe, limited public transport for the general public. Have a wonderful day, Brett.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Bernard. The Minister of Transport, Honorable Gregory Bowen, he was the guest on yesterday's To The Point, and he highlighted they are still in discussions. They are expected to meet with presidents of the bus associations in the coming days or weeks. Well, not weeks, sorry. In the coming days or within the next week to finalize how they can do so safely. So they're still working on it, on how the public transportation can be provided in a safe manner for everybody. Your thoughts on the wearing of masks in public? Let's go back to Facebook. Where did I reach? Here we go. I commend the government on the decision to create regulations for the construction sector. I am concerned about the prolonged use of masks and whether or not possible health risks were considered by officials. It's ridiculous to wear a mask while jogging and doing other exercises. All that's required is physical distancing. The problem with the physical distancing, though, is that it's not always guaranteed. See, if you're exercising home is one thing, but if I'm walking on the streets, there are other people whose paths I would cross. So that's why I would encourage people who exercise on the roads on the morning to wear the masks. Because one, you don't know whose path you may cross, and two, you don't know who was on that route prior to you or who's coming after you. So better just safe than sorry. I've heard people say that they exercise with a mask and they feel like they can't breathe. I could maybe understand if you're exercising in a kind of or a less populated place, you pull the mask down, you get some fresh air and so on and so forth. But when you're using like Grandance Main Road from Mount Hartman or from Grandance Valley to GBN Studio, I meet scores of people on the road, going up, going down, some jogging, some walking, some strolling. I meet people on the road crossing paths on the same sidewalk. This morning, actually, I saw two people brush shoulders. One was going down, one was coming up, and they brushed shoulders because I saw the man thing. So you can't guarantee social distancing in public. So just safe than sorry. That's my thoughts. Good morning.
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 Yeah, I'm Sister Blossom.
Yes. Morning, brother.
According to the mask, Grenadians head very hard. We are very rebellious. The mask is to protect us. If the doctor said it's airborne, we have to use the mask outside. Now, come on. Just imagine. I just said just now, you're going on the road, you don't know who passed there. If the person have it, you don't know who have it. The person sneezes, he's in the air. If you're home and you know the mask being your problem when you put it on, you can make a list. You must have somebody who you could trust to go and get like a shopping for you. You understand? So the mask, it is useful. It's for our protection, our family protection, everything. You understand? They should make it mandatory that all Grenadians who leave in their home to go shop or to go anywhere, use your mask. No mask, you get charged. Grenada have it easy. We have it very easy. Look what's going on in Wuhan and all these places. We're not taking no heed of what is going on in the outside country. And these places, the health system is vast, more advanced than we own. If the COVID take control of Grenada, what we going to do? The mask is for everybody protection. That is my concern. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. I agree with you. I can tell you that much. I agree with you. It's for everybody's protection. Which reminded me, something Mr. Bernard said, that it is not for your protection, but it's to protect others. It goes both ways. To me, it goes both ways. It protects me as well. I may be protecting you by wearing the mask, but I feel like I'm protecting myself as well. Facebook, face masks limit your consumption of oxygen even further. You will have hypoxia even faster, which is oxygen deprivation, which will ultimately look like respiratory disorder. Basic logic: wearing masks, you are restricting your own airflow and breathing high doses of carbon dioxide rather than oxygen. That's why it makes you sick. I agree with the last caller. Common sense. One set of people to make money with their buses. You've seen all the buses on the road since this time started, big one and the small ones. Money is always for one set of people. The cloth mask is more comfortable. I fully agree with the caller. It's all about common sense, and the authorities is too slow on the transport situation. All the Chinese coming to London as tourists used to all wear masks in the streets of London and were first the COVID-19 started. And that is where the COVID-19 started. Anything good for Grenadians, they always complain or tell you that how what or when they don't like to take instructions for their own sake. Remember, Grenada is not out of the woods, and with one slip, there can be massive spreading. That's why mask is very important. If you don't want to wear a mask, stay home. You won't be putting others in danger. Back to the phone line. Good morning.
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 I applaud all the rules and regulations. It is necessary for our naval strength. Now, what people do not like is changes. Changes is necessary and will come. So, what the order laid down for us is not just coming just necessarily. The Lord is inspiring the leaders and those heads in a church to lay down these orders. It didn't come from man. So adhere to the rules and regulation. It is best for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gola. WhatsApp people. I think Grenadians either plain they don't understand what is COVID-19. I think because no one or a great number of deaths did not happen at home. If they were working in one of the hospitals in New York, and when Code 99 is called, another dead body went home. Science said it stays 4 to 7 hours in the air. What is wrong with Grenadians? Why are we always making excuses? Please wear your mask in public spaces and stop making melee. I refuse to wear a mask while jogging on mornings. It's uncomfortable. Try it, you'll see. Trust God, fear not. I know it's uncomfortable, I've heard that, but my thing is I would rather be uncomfortable for 1 hour of jogging than be fatally inflicted with a virus. 1 hour of discomfort is small price to pay for my life, because you never know what's going to happen. The mask is crucially important and serve its purpose. The use of it, on the other hand, can cause one to be constantly inhaling recycled air, which has its challenges. Despite it all, it is a safety measure to be adhered to. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Blossom. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm so agree with the Mr. to talk about the buses. And I find it taking so long for it to come up with some solution. I don't see no problem with it. A bus could hold 8 persons, 2 in a seat, and if they want to charge a little extra for the moment, it's okay. As long as you could get to go to do your business and to come back. And I find it taking too long to come up with a solution, because not everybody that have a transport, and so many people rely on the buses. So I find it is very ridiculous.
But the regulations say that only 1 person per row. So there won't be 8, it'll be 4 passengers.
But Blossom, when you go to the supermarket, nobody's staying away from you. People still rushing you in the supermarket and they say social distance. You there, you stand up picking up something in the glass case, people coming up close to you. So I don't see the problem that 2 persons cannot be in a bus and a seat.
Okay.
That is just my thing.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay.
The difference that have been highlighted by officials as it relates to close proximity in a bus as compared to a store is that the stores have control over, 1, how many people are in their establishments, and 2, the safety of the people in their establishments. Secure is there with the spirits or hand sanitizers at the entrance to spray your hand. When you come into the establishment, they are there to ensure that you put your masks on. It's a requirement to enter supermarkets, for example. On the buses, there's nobody there to ensure that. So what they have mentioned that they're trying to do is to ensure that the bus drivers or the bus owners would adhere to the regulations, whether it is when you're picking up a passenger, you spray their hands before you come into the bus. But then how can you do that if the driver is there and the door for the passengers are in the next side? So all these things are what they said they need to sort out on how to ensure that the people who are entering these buses are clean, for lack of a better word, meaning their hands are sprayed with hand sanitizer, spirits, whatever it may be, and ensure that they are wearing masks. Because the buses that I have seen on the road that are not adhering to the no bus rule, they're not adhering to the 1 person per row rule either. I've seen buses with the row behind the conductor 1, 3 people in that one. There was 2 behind that one and 2 in the back row. And there was a person in the front of the bus. I saw that on the western side of the island. What today is? No, that was Monday. So if they're already breaking the rules by being on the road and further breaking the rules with the amount of people in the buses, what they need to sort out is to ensure that the bus owners and drivers adhere to the rules. That's where the problem is. And we know some of them bus drivers could be little rebels. We've seen the video with that particular bus. I'm sure all you know who I'm speaking about, with Ben Dong. So all these things need to be arranged, because public transportation, and they may put rules the bus drivers may not adhere to, neither may the passengers. That is a concern. Let us take a break. I have some bills to pay. This is To The Point. We're opening up the phone lines. Masks or no masks? We'll be right back with To The Point.
The NIS is committed to your well-being and continues to provide the same excellent service to you from the safety of your home or office. Therefore, from April 2020, all remittances must be submitted electronically to nisremit@nisgrenada.org. The e-remittance templates can be downloaded from our website at www.nisgrenada.org/e-submission. Alternatively, you can provide us with your email address and the required Excel spreadsheet will be sent to you. Call 440-3309 or chat with us on social media for more information. NIS, serving you because we care.
Greetings, everyone. I hope this message meets you and yours in the best of health as we join in encouraging all to act responsibly.
COVID-19 presents the most serious
and deadly challenge any of us will experience in our lifetimes.
We must act now.
We need to keep the Caribbean safe.
We can all help to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Please stay at home.
So Caribbean people, please stay home.
Caribbean people, please stay at home.
Please stay home. It's that simple. This too shall pass. But for now, stay home.
Stay in your yard. Stay home, stay safe.
The best way to protect yourself from 2019 novel coronavirus is to avoid being exposed to the virus. Additionally, there are preventative actions that you can take to protect yourself and your family from the spread of respiratory viruses that can make you sick. These include stay home if you're sick, cover your cough, and wash your hands.
Welcome back to The Point. We're opening the phone lines and focusing on the use of masks. Yes or no, healthy or not healthy? Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All Grenadians want to have his or her own way. Now, as far as I'm concerned, do the ordinary citizen, less like me, I know you're not ordinary, do they have more knowledge than the scientists? This is what bothers me. Even with this virus, even the scientists to some extent do not know exactly how much days the virus lasts in the air. Even recently, could be this morning or yesterday, I heard this say now 8 days. And we in Grenada, so educated, underline the word educated, they're trying to prevent us from catching the disease, the authorities in Grenada. Yet for all, we're going completely against what they say. Now, I like to protect myself. I don't care about the others. Because if they don't care about themselves, should the government care about them? Now, in fact, maybe if I was a leader, I would like all those, I'll tell them, okay, don't walk the street, go in an area without the protection, and you have to spread it. And when they spread it, I put it all of them in a house, let all of them die, and bury them as pigs. Because we cannot understand. In other words, I don't know if we have the ability to understand, Because look at it talking about what?
Asymptomatic.
Okay, if they told them that the virus has been in the air and it's taken by droplet infection or whatever it is, and even that is too much a big word for a lot of people, so it could come to the air, make it easier for them. And I am asking myself, if it comes to the air, they're telling you 3 feet, 6 feet, and even some of the places where they measure, to me 6 feet is 5 feet. I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. So we are not doing the right thing. I would close down the places. The buses could be made to run. In fact, if I was a part of the government, I am not going to assist any bus. What I would do, stagger, as you said, or as they say, the thing, and maybe they double the price. Because during the day, sometimes in certain areas, buses running empty. They're making 10 trips and they're making per $50 for the day. So if they make $50 and they make 2 trips, or $25 and they make 2 trips, it's more beneficial to them. Because the gas there, even though the buses have the gases in the tank, and they're not running. So I am not saying why do you have to give them help? You have a lot of poor people that need help, poor and ageable people. In fact, I would take lands from people that have 400 acres of land and they're not working it, and spread it out, but sell it, not as your Uncle Gary lady, not as what your Uncle Gary is doing. I don't confiscate it. I would take it and negotiate with them and give those who balling, now is time to work, and they all have to work. In fact, I envisage there might be more thieving in the next year because everybody don't want to work, but they want to live light. Okay. And this is the problem we have in Grenada. We must obey.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. One of the reasons they give for supporting the bus owners is because that's their chief income. And since they are not able to ply their routes and they're not able to make their income, that's how they make their money. If you don't run, you don't get money. So because of that, that's one of the reasons why they qualified for government stimulus package. WhatsApp. Yes, the mask is uncomfortable, but we should weigh the situation. Uncomfortable mask and limit the exposure according to the experts, or no mask and expose yourself. How many times do we engage in uncomfortable and unhealthy practices just to fit in? I'm concerned about those ladies who still put on all their facial makeup and then wear their protective masks. They are breathing in a whole lot of junk. We should wear the mask, get one that fits well and is of the most appropriate quality. The makeup, they don't really breathe in the makeup, The makeup once properly applied, it stays on your face, It's not just floating in the air that you could breathe it in. Thanks, Mr. Bernard. So rightly spoken. Okay, I won't read that one. Concerning the buses, if buses are allowed to work and carry only 6 passengers, then it doesn't make sense they're working because they would not be able to pay the conductor, themselves, and buy gas. Gas price going down, you could forfeit the conductor. I walk every day with my mask. I lower my mask when there is no one around and cover whenever I meet someone. It's that simple. See? System. Method. Another importance of the mask, we touch our face unconsciously and frequently. The mask protect that as well. Big facts. Before the instructions to refrain from touching our faces, I didn't realize how many times I touch my face. Like right now, I want to fix my glasses. It's a habit. Nothing is wrong with it. I just feel like I need to push it up my nose. The bus situation is not only getting out the buses on the road, but also people moving from one community to the other. If we have an outbreak, it will be very hard to control. Another thing, people are saying, let the buses travel and put up on the price because they have less passengers. We used to complain about that too. Why they charging $5 and $10 when they used to charge $2.50? You know us. Tell me lie. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Mask? Yes, wear your mask. There is a time and a purpose for everything under the face of the sun. Wear your mask is necessary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. There's a time and place. Amen. Yes or no to the masks? Let me go back by Facebook. In New York, most of the death is black. Based on statistics, it seems like we are more affected because of our pre-existing conditions. Please, Grenadians, wear your mask and use vitamin D or the morning sunrise or sundown where you get vitamin D. Very important indeed. As Dr. Martin said, if you want Carnival and other freedom, wear your masks. Well, Carnival already cancelled. There was another comment that I was about to read. Where did you go? There we go. The Grenadian Authority is making it up as they go along. How can you shut down public transport and expect the economy to pick up? The mask is only effective in confined spaces. The wrong mask can actually trap the virus and infect you when you remove it. That is why some countries advise you to wear a mask and not make it compulsory. I don't think they're making it up in it. They're following a lot of regulations applied around the world. I don't think they're making it up as they go. I would like to inquire about the buses that has limited window and use AC when it has full amount of passengers. How safe is that? Yeah, these new buses, they just like a cooler. One window on one side and one on the next. Yeah, I get you. I'm not even reading this one about the prayers not driving COVID away. If the police enforce the law, everyone will be wearing masks. Experts say makeup makes the mask less effective. I wonder how. How long will it take the authorities to make a decision on the public transportation running? Do they need a rocket scientist to make a decision on it? The minister said they are meeting soon and will announce a decision in the coming days. Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom. How are you today?
I'm good. How you do?
I'm okay for now.
You sound very energetic.
Yeah, well, the little freedom we know, but as we say, what I'm looking at, they're promoting it wrong. We cannot go back to normal. This thing changed right over. But mainly what I want to speak about is the bus transport. The bus transport now, the transportation system, a lot of people looking at the bus. They're not really looking at it. They're more talking about the bus, but they're really targeting the owners. But the bus is a very expensive thing to run, right? So everything in this life, we need to help one another. You see, sometimes the government of Grenada need money, a country lend them the help. So everything is about help and each other go along. So maybe the parts, please, because a bus can never run with this 2, 3, 4, 5 passengers to make it profitable for the owner. Because you're getting $2, but one breaks is $200. If something goes wrong with you, it's $1,000, right? So look, sometimes we condemn the older thing, but look at that. In the older days, they show us the type of bus we should have in Grenada. Do you remember the old buses we used to have? These buses would do a good job now because it's open and the seat longer. No, we have to come up with a creative way. Look at you see that same train thing that train system that is working here? That thing, if you got about a few of those and tearing people from Granans to Tong and the different areas, it will make a big deal. A lot of trucks right now, in the early days, the people was creative, but in a lot of trucks right now, if they just convert a top and a couple seat, they will be able to carry the same amount of passenger into St. George's, at least in Tantina, right there, as the small bus is doing. Our buses in Grenada are too small. We got to go into a bigger system and find out a way. If you go to Cuba, you'll see they have big buses, but there's trailer trucks that are buses hauling 50 and 60 people. Trailer trucks all over Cuba, trailer trucks hauling people to the cities and all over. We got to think about it because it would be very strenuous. The government will never able to help finance because gas, parts, everything, insurance, these people with the bus going to have a very hard task because the buses is too small in Grenada. Time for us to think smartly and wisely. We cannot be following all the modern thing that we see boop up and that look nice. It's bringing a problem on us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution, caller. WhatsApp, the bus price is already up in Munich. The question is, how bus price could gone up in Munich and buses not supposed to be traveling. All they see, they're making the way good for themselves, and they're making the way bad for themselves by already breaking the law. So if they want to ensure that they have a airtight rules and regulations for public transportation, you can't blame them. Because them bus drivers and bus owners are already doing what they want. They're already not following the laws and regulations at present. So all you see, they're making the way bad for themselves. So we just spoil things, innit? So we just spoil, yes, bad English. So we just spoil the way for ourselves and for others. What buses, and I know it's not Munich alone, don't worry, I know it's not Munich alone. It have in Granans, it have on the western side of the island, it have in the north, I know. Nurses and doctors have been using masks forever. If they are in surgery which can last hours, do they leave the patient and complain about changing? People are making fuss over wearing masks to protect themselves. Do you know that surgeons, somebody else, you see? Great minds think alike. Do you know that surgeons and nurses in operating theatres can perform a surgery lasting hours? They must wear masks, and it is not to protect themselves but the patients. I never hear any one of them complain during the process. Just saying. Great minds think alike. I want to suggest the authorities involve the taxi association in the mix. The taxi can run in areas where they reside. Just food for thought. Two things we need to know. One, the virus is new. We will learn as we go. New information is coming about COVID almost every day. And two, there are different strains of coronavirus. Who knows? Grenada may have had a mild strain. What if, especially when the borders are open, we get a more deadly strain? Can we deal with it? Nope. Buses are running in St. David too. Bus price is $10 and $5. Loss? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, the topic this morning, I'm not particularly enthused, but just if I should just say something. And I usually say that I respect people's right to their views and their opinion. I may not necessarily agree with the views and opinions. But I think as a people, we ought to be responsible. You know, we have to behave responsibly and sensibly, you know. And I believe that the measures that have been put in place, not only in Grenada, are meant to really protect us, to protect the people of the country, right, the citizens. And sometimes we react to almost everything and react in a very negative way. Things that are meant to help us, to save lives, maybe to reduce or constrain the spread, the infection of the disease, the COVID-19. And then we find, you know, we giving every excuse, every reason why we should not adhere to those things. I was listening to the news earlier on, and on Monday, over 800 people died in Brazil, right, as a result of from the virus, from the COVID-19. You know, sometimes I don't know, I can't even find words to describe it. Because if you are living home, you want to live home, or it becomes necessary to leave home, and you're venturing out there. I believe once you have ventured out in public, it is in your interest and maybe in the interest of others. I mean, we should not be selfish, right? We should not be selfish. One policy is the mask is to protect you from spreading the virus onto other people. I believe, in my view, it could work both ways. It should be working both ways. But my appeal is that we should be sensible. We should let wisdom prevail, let good sense prevail. Sometimes we behave as though, I mean, come on, I mean, I don't want to use derogatory terms, but sometimes, you know, we behave too irresponsible, right? I heard one caller talk about the transportation, and he's disappointed that the government has not, up to this point, put measures in place for the public transport system to be operational. And I myself believe that there should be some measure of public transportation, right, taking place, because yes, people have to move back and forth, and of course the majority of the people will not have transportation. But you have a committee, you have the COVID-19 committee that advises the cabinet, the government of Grenada, and we were under lockdown. So gradually they are opening up, right? So there are measures, you know, so gradually. So I think that stage is going to come, and I think it's going to come soon. But they must walk out the protocol. But again, to say that there was no protocol in respect to the public transportation, I've been saying that a long time. That's not totally true, because they were saying one passenger to a seat. But whereas I recognize that it would not be profitable, viable to the bus operator, bus owners, right? So maybe some other arrangement could have been worked out whereby the government would have provided some subsidy over a period of time.
Okay.
Right? But to say that there was no protocol, I'm not sure that I would agree with that. Because so when you said, okay, because remember, when the thing started, the buses were operating, Yeah, a few of the buses were operating. Some were not operating, the majority, because they said that it was not profitable for them to have one passenger per seat. But look at, I myself, I happened to travel on 2 occasions during the lockdown period, and I saw what was happening with the buses.
Okay.
Nobody had to tell me, I saw. But sometimes we try to make politics out of certain things, or we just, we put in politics sometimes before the national interest, before our own interest, and it's very, very sad.
All right, thank you, caller. Thank you very much, caller, for your contribution. That's the end of the program this morning, but we will continue the discussion tomorrow, God willing, specifically with the public transportation. It's Open Line Friday on the program, same time, same place, 9 a.m. tomorrow, God willing. We will continue this discussion, and I will continue to read some of the comments and questions posed across the various platforms. Thank you guys so much for participating. There's a question I would answer on Facebook. Who said, Blossom, who said they are breaking the law? Do you know if some of the buses are allowed to run undercover? If they are allowed to run undercover, no matter who gave them permission to run undercover, it's still against the law. The regulations state that no person shall offer for hire or seek to travel on any motor omnibus. Full stop. So they're breaking the law. Same time, same place tomorrow, God willing. That's the end of my time today on the program. I will be back with you tomorrow morning, God willing. Once God spares life, Blossom will be here on Good Morning Grenada. Have yourselves a productive Thursday. If you're heading out, wear your masks. I'm stopping saying walk with your mask. Wear your masks. Be safe. Be healthy. Joseph is up next with Mid-Morning Buzz. Have yourselves a good Thursday.